Have you ever wondered why so many older adults wake up at 300 a.m. and can't seem to fall back asleep? You might lie there in the quiet darkness, staring at the ceiling, wondering what's wrong with your body or your mind. The truth is, this is more common than you think, and it's not just a random habit or a result of getting older. In this video, we're exploring 5 powerful reasons why people tend to wake up around 300 a.m. as they age, and what those early morning wake-ups may be trying to tell you. Each reason reveals something deeper about your body, your health, and your life experience. By the end of this video, you may see your sleep in a whole new light. These aren't just surface-level explanations either. They're rooted in real physiology, psychology, and the rhythms of aging that most people aren't even aware of. We'll talk about changes in hormones, sleep patterns, health challenges, even emotional and social influences that could be quietly working behind the scenes. And we'll do it in a way that's honest, empowering, and deeply respectful of the life you've lived so far. If you've ever found yourself waking up around 300 a.m. and asking, why now? You're in the right place. Stay tuned until the end, because what you learn here might not only help you sleep better, it could help you better understand and appreciate what your body is going through now. Let's get started. Number 1. Reduced melatonin production. As we age, our bodies go through many changes, and one of the subtle shifts occurs in the production of melatonin, the hormone responsible for regulating our sleep-wake cycle. In our younger days, our bodies produced a generous amount of this hormone, which helped us enjoy long stretches of peaceful sleep. However, as time passes, it is entirely natural for melatonin levels to decline. Research shows that melatonin production can drop significantly after our 60s, contributing to earlier awakenings in the night. For instance, a study in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism found that the nocturnal rise in melatonin can decrease by up to 50% in older adults. Let's imagine Harold, a vibrant 72-year-old gentleman. Harold always took pride in his deep, undisturbed sleep. Lately, however, he noticed that he woke up around 3:15 a.m. without warning. Instead of feeling alarmed, Harold began to understand this as a natural part of aging. He started taking small steps, making his bedroom darker by installing blackout curtains and dimming any nightlights. And he even made it a point to step outside for a brief walk in the early evening. These gentle adjustments helped him extend the feeling of night, easing his body back into rest. This change in melatonin production is not a sign that your body is failing. It's simply a reminder that our internal chemistry evolves over time. There is comfort in knowing that these night awakenings are part of the natural rhythms of life. In fact, many would say this is one of those life lessons from the elderly that reminds us to accept our body's changes with warmth and understanding. Think back to a time when you remembered falling asleep with ease, maybe in your younger days or when life felt a bit simpler. What changes in your sleep have you noticed over the years, and how do they reflect the beautiful journey of aging in your life? Number 2. Shifted sleep cycle and advanced sleep phase. Another important factor is our natural circadian rhythm. As we age, many of us experience what is known as an advanced sleep phase. This means that our internal clocks start to shift, causing us to feel sleepy earlier in the evening and, consequently, making us awake earlier in the morning. Studies indicate that our sleep phase can shift as much as 2 hours earlier by our senior years. Imagine being naturally inclined to go to bed at 8:30 or 9:00 p.m. instead of midnight. It's not insomnia, it's simply your body following its revised schedule. Take Charles, for example. Charles, a retired 68-year-old, found that his sleep was perfectly aligned with the rising sun. He would start feeling drowsy as early as 8:00 p.m. without even planning it. By 3:00 a.m., he'd gently awaken, his body signaling that it had completed its nightly routine. Although initially he worried that this early wakefulness meant he wasn't getting enough rest, he soon recognized that his internal clock was simply set to a different time. To accommodate his natural rhythm, Charles experimented with extending his wakeful period in the evening. He began spending his twilight hours reading or engaging in light conversation with friends, thereby gently nudging his bedtime a bit later. In doing so, he aligned his schedule more with his personal preference, while still embracing the natural changes brought on by the years. This shift isn't alarming, it's a transformation, another life lessons from the elderly that teaches us to adapt gracefully to our own internal timing. Aging is not about losing, it's about relearning and rediscovering what our bodies naturally need. If you're still here, thank you for sharing this quiet moment with me. If today's message touched something true in your life, just comment number 2 so I know you're here. And if you haven't yet, I'd love for you to subscribe and tap the bell so you won't miss what's next. This channel is a gentle space where experience matters, kindness is shared, and growing older means something. I'm truly grateful you're here. Number 3, physical discomfort and health-related interruptions. With age, our bodies sometimes send us signals to remind us to slow down, and one way they do this is by experiencing physical discomfort at night. Chronic conditions such as arthritis, acid reflux, or even a simple muscle cramp can make it challenging to stay asleep. As our bodies accumulate the wear and tear of decades of life, it's only natural that these discomforts emerge more frequently, especially when we are in a quiet, undisturbed state. Consider Ella Lanner, a 76-year-old woman whose experiences resonate with many of us. She had always been a light sleeper, but over the past year she began waking up consistently around 3:30 a.m. Initially, she attributed it to stress or perhaps even poor sleep hygiene. After discussing her symptoms with her doctor, she learned that one of her medications was affecting her hydration levels, leading to increased nighttime trips to the bathroom. With a few adjustments in her medication schedule and a bit of lifestyle tweaking, Eleanor noticed a significant improvement in the continuity of her sleep. Health challenges can come in many forms: a sore joint that aches as soon as you lie down too long in one position, a full bladder that reminds you of nature's call in the middle of the night, or even the subtle sting of acid reflux after a late dinner. Statistics suggest that nearly 60% of older adults experience some form of sleep disturbance caused by physical discomfort. It's a reminder that while our bodies are resilient, they require gentle care and understanding. Embracing these moments as reminders to adjust our routines can turn a disruption into an opportunity for self-care. These are among the life lessons from the elderly that encourage us to listen to our bodies and respond with kindness rather than frustration. Think about a time when a minor discomfort nudged you out of sleep, perhaps a scratchy pillow or an uncomfortable chair. What small changes did you make then that helped you find comfort, and what might you try now to ease those nighttime awakenings? Number 4, lifestyle habits that shift your sleep rhythm. Over the years, our daily routines adapt to our changing lifestyles. Many of us start having dinner earlier, wind down sooner, and perhaps engage in less physically demanding activities during the day. These adjustments, though they seem small, have a powerful cumulative effect on our sleep patterns. When the days quiet down earlier, the subtle cues that signal to our body that it's time to rest come into play much sooner than before. Walter's story is a beautiful example of this shift. At 74, Walter found himself in the habit of having supper around 5:00 p.m. He would watch the evening news while dozing off in his favorite recliner, and by 9 p.m. he was in bed. Over time, Walter noticed that his sleep would end unprompted around 3:00 a.m., far earlier than he would have liked. Realizing that his daily habits were inadvertently tuning his internal clock, He made some thoughtful adjustments. Walter added a short, brisk afternoon walk to boost his energy, and introduced a gentle, engaging activity in the evening, such as reading under a soft lamp rather than in the dark. These small yet impactful changes helped him gradually shift his sleep window, bringing a sense of balance between his routine and his natural body rhythm. The subtle signals coming from our daily habits remind us that even minor adjustments can lead to a big difference in our sleep quality. The transition of our nightly routines into earlier start times is yet another reflection of the life lessons from the elderly, showing us that wisdom often comes in the form of small, manageable changes. If you're still here, thank you for sharing this quiet moment with me. If today's message touched something true in your life, just comment number 4 so I know you're here. And if you haven't yet, I'd love for you to subscribe and tap the bell so you won't miss what's next. This channel is a gentle space where experience matters, kindness is shared, and growing older means something. I'm truly grateful you're here. Number 5, emotional and psychological restlessness. Sometimes waking up at 300 a.m. has less to do with your body and more to do with your mind. As we grow older, emotional layers that were once buried by the busyness of daily life can start to surface in the quiet of the night. These early morning hours, when the world is still and distractions are few, often become the stage where unspoken worries, regrets, or longings begin to stir. You may find yourself lying awake not because of noise or pain, but because your mind is quietly sorting through memories, unresolved thoughts, or subtle anxieties you didn't realize were still with you. This kind of restlessness differs from the full-blown anxiety of youth. It's quieter, more reflective, a soft hum in the background that suggests something is unsettled, even if you can't quite name it. It's also important to recognize that loneliness can play a role here. For many older adults, social circles shrink with time. Children move away, friends become busy, and routines change. The daytime might be filled with activity, but nighttime brings a quiet awareness of that emotional gap. This loneliness doesn't always feel heavy. Sometimes it emerges simply as a desire for connection or a faint ache for someone to talk to. Take Gloria, who's 80 and widowed. During the day, she keeps busy tending her garden, calling her grandchildren, and watching her favorite shows. But around 300 a.m., she often finds herself awake, her thoughts returning to moments shared with her late husband or worries she had tucked away during daylight. At first, she thought something was wrong with her sleep, but over time she came to understand that her early waking wasn't about sleep at all. It was her heart asking to be heard, a signal to support herself. Gloria started keeping a small journal by her bed. When she wakes up, she sometimes writes down whatever's on her mind. Nothing fancy, just a few honest thoughts. She also introduced a quiet evening ritual such as listening to soft music or writing a short note to a friend. These small acts of reflection and connection provided her emotions with a gentle outlet, easing her mind and helping her return to sleep more peacefully. The truth is, the human heart doesn't follow a strict schedule. It remembers what it wants to remember, asks the questions it needs to ask, and sometimes does all this at 300 a.m. when everything else is quiet. Rather than seeing these wake-ups as something to fix, try approaching them with curiosity and kindness. Ask yourself what your mind is trying to tell you, what you need to give voice to, and which part of you needs a little grace. In doing so, you may find not only better sleep, but also a richer understanding of yourself during this stage of life. Before we part ways for tonight, think back on a time when the early morning light stirred a memory that warmed your heart. What was that moment, and how did it shape your view on life and the precious gift of sleep? Final thoughts. As we wrap up, take a quiet moment to reflect on what you've just heard. What resonated with you the most? Is it the subtle shift in your internal clock? The gentle changes in your health? Or perhaps something deeper, a quiet emotional rhythm that only reveals itself when the world is still. Each of these 5 insights offers a unique lens into understanding your early morning wake-ups. Far from being a sign that something is wrong, they remind us that our body and mind continue to work, respond, and adapt with every stage of life. There is a quiet power in understanding what your body is trying to tell you, especially during those soft pre-dawn hours. In these moments, we uncover many of the life lessons from the elderly, which teach us that our evolving rhythms are part of a beautiful journey. Rather than viewing 300 a.m. wake-ups as an unwelcome interruption, see them instead as gentle signals that invite you to listen more intently to your needs, your habits, and the whispers of your heart. By embracing this perspective, you can make small, meaningful adjustments that nurture better sleep, greater comfort, and a more profound connection with your own natural rhythms. Remember, every change, every adjustment reflects another of those cherished life lessons from the elderly that has carried us through years of experience and wisdom. Thank you for joining us today. If you recognized yourself in any of these reflections, know that you're not just growing older, you're evolving. With this evolution comes the opportunity to rest more intentionally, to care for yourself with greater tenderness, and to greet each new morning with hope, understanding, and peace. In fact, the wisdom that comes with each sunrise is a reminder of the precious life lessons from the elderly that continue to inspire us every day. If you found these insights valuable, please share one thing you learned today and how you plan to apply it in your own life. Your thoughts are important, and your experiences help build a community that supports connection, comfort, and hope. Don't hesitate to leave a comment below, and if you haven't already, please consider subscribing and turning on notifications so you never miss a new opportunity to learn and grow together. Your support helps us continue creating content that informs, inspires, and uplifts us all with those timeless life lessons from the elderly. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to sharing more wisdom with you in the next video. Remember, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. May these words guide you to nurture hope, embrace change, and cherish every new day as a precious gift.